माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ, जय गिरिवरधारी, जय गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जसोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन, जसोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। जमुना तीरा बनचारी, यमुना तीरा बनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण, कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण, कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय राधा माधव, जय राधा माधव, राधा माधव जय राधा माधव। जय पंच तत्व, जय पंच तत्व, पंच तत्व जय तत्व। जय प्रह्लाद नृसिंह, जय अनंत देव, प्रह्लाद नृसिंह जय अनंत देव। जय जगन्नाथ, जय बलदेव, सुभद्रा माई जय सुदर्शन। जय जय प्रभुपाद, प्रभुपाद, प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद। जय जय गुरुदेव, गुरुदेव, गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव। निताई गौर हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, निताई गौर हरि बोल। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजक आचार्य अष्टोत्तर सत हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रीला हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहिए जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपिका श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिराज गोवर्धन जी महाराज की जय। ब्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। साकेत अयोध्यापुरी धाम की जय। गंगा मैया की जय। जमुना माई की जय। तुलसी महारानी की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। आप सभी उपस्थित भक्तों की जय जयकार हो। आप सभी उपस्थित भक्तों की जय जयकार हो। आप सभी उपस्थित भक्तों की जय जयकार हो। श्री श्री गुरु एवं गौरांग की जय जयकार हो। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। I welcome you all in this weekly class on Bhagavad Gita, exclusively being done for the community devotees of DRDO. And I'm thankful to Shyamavallabha Mataji and Badri Vishal Prabhu for week after week, making these arrangements. So we have covered last week the preliminary section of Karma Yoga, which is the chapter 3 of Bhagavad Gita. We will start reading. Just to help you recall, last time the verse where we left was Na karmanam anarambham naiškarmyam purushošnute na cha sannyasana siddham samadhi gacchati. The Lord emphasizes the significance of work and how one should not shirk the work. So if you try to avoid your prescribed duty, thinking that if I don't perform the duty, there will be no reaction. So the Lord cautions us that then the reaction will be of not performing the prescribed duty. It is impossible to not have reaction. So better than not doing your prescribed duty is to do it even if it is half-heartedly. So from here we enter into, like with each class. One second, please. I'm sorry. With each class, we learn something new, and that learning is in terms of applied behavioral improvement. So here what we learn is that how, as I keep telling, Bhagavad Gita, one who understands Bhagavad Gita understands the nature of divinity. We know how Krishna thinks by reading Bhagavad Gita. Particularly, we know what Krishna expects from us. So do not forget that underlying theme, that the purpose of doing this exercise is to understand God and God's, you know, uh, how do we align with the will of the Lord. So we are with each chapter, in each verse, his nature has to be understood. That should remain the primary objective. Right after that should be, how can I align myself with his nature? That's the peace formula. And once you are aligned with his nature, then you will attain peace. So last week, the last verse that we read, the Lord is, you can understand it through a hierarchy. He is saying, if you are not performing the prescribed duty, that is not correct. You will get the reaction of not doing it. If you do it and you do it half-heartedly, it is better than not doing it. If you do it and you do it with a sense of duty and you put your best in it without expecting the result, then Krishna says, yes, that's better. Then he says, if you do it to please me, then that's best. So we know bad, we know good, we know better, we know best. Bad is when you don't do your prescribed duty. When a student does not study, when a businessman doesn't go to the factory, when a housewife doesn't perform her regulative activities or her prescribed duties, we all fall down if we don't perform these activities. So that's bad. So, Krishna, God, divinity, same thing, but definitely Krishna is the best and the most apt expression. And the expectation there is that if you want your consciousness to move up, then you must make sure that you do not shirk the work. So there is no, this is a path going down. When you do it half heartedly, then you get some positive reaction, some negative reaction. That is a platform of human. That's Rajogun. The previous one was Tamogun. Some effort is being put. There is expectation of return, etc. But some effort is being put. Then you move to Satogun, where you put effort because you have to put effort. That's how things are. Every day, sun rises out of sense of duty. Like that. I work because that's duty, and duty has to be fulfilled. That's mode of goodness. So that's better. But then even higher is Shuddha Sattva, where I work because when I work, it pleases Krishna. Krishna wants is this way, so I will do it this way. Whether I like it or I don't like it doesn't matter. Bharat, you will have to go back to Ayodhya and you will have to accept the kingdom and serve the kingdom. Bharat didn't like it. He wanted to be in the forest with his brother. But for the pleasure of Ram, he did it. That's best. Had Bharat said, I don't know, my brother is doing his duty because my father has asked him to go to Vanavas for 14 years. So he's doing his duty. I have been given the kingdom, so I will do my duty. Bharat could have done it like that as well. That's better. Bharat can sometimes feel fearful that he might be attacked by Lakshman or his brother Ram. So he might send some spies over there and harangue them, etc. Sometimes he will get under guilt and he will only focus on his kingdom. That's good. At least he's trying to do his work, but sometimes falls down. Bharat refuses to do anything, just gives up. Then that's worse. That's very bad. So you understand it like that. And most of us are on the, in the human body means there is some endeavor, there is some effort to sustain, survive, call whatever you want to call it. And while we are attempting to survive here, some dharma, and I'm not talking about religion, huh? Remember, dharma means sustaining a particular identity and working to sustain that identity. So dharma of sugar is sweetness. Sugar has to sustain sweetness for it to be known as sugar. The moment sweetness disappears, that white crystal will no longer be called sugar. You remove saltiness, and that white powder won't be called salt anymore. Salt has to sustain saltiness, and sugar has to sustain sweetness. Then only the existence is there, otherwise, it is not there. Similarly, Jivera Swarup Hoy Krishner Nitya Das. The eternal religion of soul is to satisfy super soul. That's our religion. That's our dharma. But now that we are here and we have accepted these material bodies, so to sustain the material body, in order to complete our bhajan, we have to fulfill the demands of the material body. Therefore, all these little upadharma we have to do. And if we don't do, we can't sustain this material body. Krishna will mention it today that without endeavor, without activity, one can't even survive. Forget about other things. So now let's begin. Today, the background itself took almost 15 minutes. So now we will start reading from the verse where we left last time. Mataji, can you please upload? Thank you. So we are reading text 5. Everyone is forced to act helplessly according to the qualities he has acquired from the modes of material nature. Therefore, no one can refrain from doing something, not even for a moment. Now, this is a completely different thing. In your previous multiple lifetimes, you had various desires, and then there were endeavors to fulfill those desires. Accordingly, you have acquired the modes. Example, someone who loves sleeping sleeps 8 hours during the night, 2 3 hours during the daytime, and largely lazy. So they can't help it. They have to go to work to survive. So they go to work. Otherwise, given a choice, they wouldn't find interest in pursuing a hobby, you know. They would just want to be couch potatoes, sitting on a sofa as long as possible with a cell phone in their hand, or with a laptop, watching one movie on Netflix and next on Amazon Prime, and it goes on. Why? Because that's the mode they have acquired. This is mode of ignorance, wrong identity, and then furthering the wrong identity. But no one can refrain from doing something. It means if you have, don't take it as activity. It will happen to you. If you have Kshatriya qualities, your blood will boil. You can't help it. No one can refrain. If you have Brahminical qualities, you will tolerate. You can't help it. That's your nature. Then what happens? There is something called transition, and that's growth. We move from one mode to another. I will reduce laziness. I will increase activity. All right. So you will get up early morning, go for a walk, and all those things. So that's transition, moving from laziness to activity. But then those activities might be of various types, and proportionately they will increase your attachment. So you will become active in business, active at work. So in next life, the mode of ignorance would decrease and mode of passion would pick up. So then you will be like, oh, let's go, let's do, achieve it. Like that, you will keep talking. Because you have acquired that mode. How to simply understand it? Visualize your heart. Visualize a small packet which has 3 boxes in it. One box is black color, another box is red color, another box is white color. And just imagine rays emerging from these boxes. These rays are the thoughts that you have, and that you have acquired from previous lifetimes. So if the black box is open and rays are coming as in the form of thoughts to you on the plane of your mind, then you will think like that. Mujhe neend aa rahi hai. I just want to chill. I want to relax. I don't want to do anything. Mom, I'm lying down here. Can you get me a glass of water? And don't think only children are lazy. No, parents are also very, very lazy. Their politics is different. In the name of, you know, teaching, in the name of teaching some etiquettes to the children, they also exploit. Because whatever modes we have, no one can refrain from doing something, which means even lying down is activity. Some, if you are alive, you have to do something. Dead bodies don't do anything. So this must be categorically understood, that I have thought, I have had desires in previous lifetimes. They have all gotten clubbed. Some of them got fulfilled. So therefore, I like them all the more now. Some of them did not get fulfilled. So therefore, I have hankering for them. This whole thing is there in the packet in the heart with those three boxes. And the whichever way you have created those boxes, proportionately the thoughts would keep bothering you. That's it. As simple as that. Let's go to the next verse. Before that, let's read it once more. Everyone is forced to act helplessly. No control. Modes are dictating. Only modes are dictating. मुझे डर लग रहा है, मुझे गाना गाना है, मुझे खाना खाना है, whatever it is. और चाहिए, all of that. So, can you counter it? Yes, you can counter it. When can you counter it? When you take shelter of the Lord. Then what happens? Then the holy name comes. When you hear the holy name, it enters the region of the heart. And so then what does it do? It first starts working on the black box. It starts emptying the black box. It also starts emptying the red box. And it also starts emptying even the white box. A little later, but if it will do that. So then what happens? Then a new packet comes. What happens in that? In that packet, you have desires of generosity, well being of others, love for God. So, what does that packet do? That packet has no anxiety. That packet has no fear, because fear was in black box. The black box has been emptied. Greed was in red box. The red box has been emptied. Attachment to one's own comfort was there in white box. Even that has been emptied. So now what is there? The new box has acceptance of suffering for the sake of others. That's new box. And when you say someone is a saintly person, he is largely being run by those desires. Even he is acting helplessly. He can't help it. He can't give up his sadhu nature. भक्ति बीज पलटे नहीं, जो जुग जाए अनंत, ऊंच नीच घर जन्म ले, पर रहे संत का संत. No matter where he is born, in a very aristocratic family or in a low born family, irrespective of his birth, his saintly qualities will remain saintly. Why? Because bhakti beej palate nahi. You can't turn it around. If the seed of bhakti has been put inside your heart, palate means that old packet of black, red, and white box won't come again. It's not that somebody hits a saintly person and the dharmendra in him takes birth. No, he tolerates. That's a quality. There is tolerance in rajogun also, but that tolerance is sukh tujhe, mera time aane de, ek din maja chakhaunga. That tolerance is different. All these politicians tolerate and then compensate, take revenge. I'm not talking about that. A tolerance that's born out of pure knowledge. So, what is that pure knowledge? Oh, this person, though he is a soul, but completely overcome by temporary identity, and he's being governed by the three boxes. So, he doesn't know. When he does not know that he's being governed by the red box right now, and that's why the anger is there in him, what can he do? He will act helplessly. So he is in Maya. So to such a person, you don't feel angry, you feel compassionate. That's the platform where divine tolerance occurs. Otherwise, many people tolerate. You go to these army people, they can tolerate great level of pain because they have a Kshatriya spirit. But that's the red box. That's not Shuddha Sattva. The whole game is Cheto. What is Cheto? Chit. What is Chit? Chit is that packet in which these three tendencies are there clubbed, and they are directing us, and we are acting helplessly. Darpanam arjanam. It's like a dust on the mirror of the heart. It's wiped out. Glittering you appears from that. That's what holy names do. At least one should know this much. Why do I chant? You chant because otherwise you will be directed helplessly by the three modes. If you have to start lessening the impact of mode, and by the way, it's not that once those three finish, then the the other packet would pop up. No, it's not linear or sequential. It happens parallelly. The proportion in which holy name has blessed you, in that proportion, the good qualities will pop up in the heart. So it would be a combination. You will sometimes be, or most of the times, be in Maya initially, and sometimes doing right things. And gradually, Bhakti part will increase, Maya will decrease. So no one can refrain from doing acting. All of us will have to act helplessly. It is just that you have to accept dictates of material nature, or you have to take dictates of Krishna. When you accept dictates from Krishna, then there is eternal life without any anxiety. When you accept it from Maya, you are on your own. Sometimes you will be happy, and that happiness would be very tiny, very meager. And most of the times you will be in anxiety. So, like that. Let's move to the next verse. So, because Krishna in the previous verse said, Na karmanam anarambhan. So, he is continuing and emphasizing, don't shirk work, because something you will do, and that will be sinful then. A child who should have gone to school, didn't go to school, will do mischief. So, one is punishment by teacher, second is empty mind, devil's house. So, you will do something. So, the Lord directs us and warns us and cautions us. Next verse, please. One who restrains the senses of action, but whose mind dwells on sense objects, certainly deludes himself and is called a pretender. Now, this is very close. There are two aspects to it. There is one verse in chapter 2 where Krishna says that a person who is trying for spiritual realization may stop engaging with the objects of the senses, but the desire to enjoy through those sense objects remain in his heart. However, once he relishes the higher taste, then Because he is situated in higher taste, he gives up willingly the lower taste. Now, this is very, very close, these two verses. Here, the Lord is saying, who restrains the senses of action, but his mind dwells on it. So now it's a time of question answer. I would like to ask you, Mataji, first, can you take from chapter 2, Param Drashtva Nivartate? It would be a verse after, I think, second chapter, verse number 63 or no, 57, 58. Yeah, you can put it here and check. Param Drashtva Nivartate. I would like both, all of you, very attentively read these two verses and you tell me what is the difference. So this verse is, everyone, you are almost here, 14 besides me. So be alert. This is, I'm going to ask the question, and it's not that you need to know something prior to that. Just read the sentences carefully and tell me what's the difference. Let's go to the translation. Though the embodied soul, which is us, may be restricted from sense enjoyment, which means, suppose I love ice cream, now I stay away from ice cream. Okay. But the taste for sense objects remains. I'm not eating ice cream, but I love ice cream. The taste is there. I like it. But ceasing such engagements, which means eating ice cream again and again, by experiencing a higher taste, this I'm not going to say because that's the answer. He is fixed in consciousness. You have read it carefully. Did everyone understand this? If not, please raise your hand. Okay. Mataji, now go back to our current verse which is there. One who restrains the senses of action, which is tongue, from eating ice cream, restrains, but whose mind dwells on sense objects, certainly deludes himself and is called a pretender. What is the difference in these two verses? Anybody would like to take this?
Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. What I've understood so far is because I remember when I was reading this, I did have the same question.
Mm.
The Mataji teaching me then told me the difference is that you can be, because we are so like so much in this material like under this material cloud, we cannot control our senses even if we want to. We'll always come under Mayavi Jal. So unless and until we are not fixated on Supreme Lord, we will not be able to get that sense away. And thus we will obviously, like, even if, let's say for example, the ice cream, I like ice cream. I've said I will not eat the ice cream, but I will obsessively be fixated on that. So I am not doing anything. I'm just thinking about the ice cream the entire time. But let's say that instead I am thinking about Lord and his pastimes. I will not. I will obviously like still like ice cream, but I will not be obsessively thinking about ice cream the entire time. Therefore, I am actually doing something, and I'm not a pretender.
Wonderful answer, Mataji. Very nice. This is exact answer, just that you elaborated. I will, for the sake of other devotees, highlight the answer first theoretically, that in the pretender scenario, the mind, as Mataji mentioned, is fixated. So the mind is dwelling on the object of the senses. Oh, I missed ice cream today. So the contemplation is of ice cream. So a pretender is that. Whereas in the previous verse, Param Drashtva, The senses have been restrained, but the mind dwells on, as Mataji mentioned, Lord's pastimes. So, what is the lesson for us? The lesson for us is don't externally attempt vairagya. Don't try. This is the answer, not the answer Mataji gave, and correct answer she gave. But the message is don't try to give up. I'm going to leave this. I'm going to leave this. Because then you will think about it. Like fasting, feasting, and diet programs, the cheat meal idea and all. 15 days. Fabulous. 16th day, come crashing. You can eat anything. You're making up. Why? Because the mind was dwelling over there. So when you perform Ekadashi, Vrat, etc., you stay away from food. Like Nirjala Ekadashi is coming, and those who are healthy, living in a healthy body, they would want to do, refraining from water, but they miss the technique. कितने बज गए 10. Oh, morning 10 o'clock, huh? Tomorrow 4:30 is Paran, or say 6 o'clock is Paran. Then 18 more hours to go. Yes, I can do it. You are somehow, or that's not the right technique. Your mind is dwelling on water. You can anytime fall down. So, what is the technique? The technique is absorption. What will it result into? When you are absorbed in, your devotees are there, they are chanting, you are chanting, they are reading, you are reading, they are going to take darshan of the deities, you are also going to take darshan of the deities. They are trying to do some menial service in the temple, something like sweeping, etc. You are also doing. But this is also incomplete, mind you. Param drashtva nivartate is when you perform things for the pleasure of the Lord, then there comes rasa, joy. If that joy is not coming, then you will keep thinking about the water. And initially, on your own strength, the joy will not come. So then what do we do? Stay with devotees. When you take a sankalp, stay with devotees. Be surrounded by them. And then don't assume a physical this thing. Srila Prabhupada is a pure devotee. You open the book, you have devotee association. But you should also have physical association. Darshane pavitra karo, ei tomar gun. That joy has to come. Then you will forget about that thing. Param drashtva is that. So here the mind is fixated, and externally you are staying away from that. In modern language, they say steel yourself, not the chori wala steel. Steel as a metal. Steel yourself means you make yourself completely hard. There is a philosophy also based on this in the Western world. So we don't have to do any such thing. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majaiya Man. Let the mind be absorbed in the thinking and pastimes of Guru and devotees. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majaiya Man. Let it be absorbed in their service. Then the higher taste will come. What I have shared with you all today is, is something that I consider extremely close to my heart. If the joy of devotion is there, then unearth will quickly disappear. If the joy is lacking, then there is a struggle. And the only way joy will come quickly is to have association of devotees. साधु संग सर्व शास्त्र कहे, लव मात्र साधु संग सर्व सिद्धि है. So that's the thing. Let's move to the next verse. I hope you understood who is a pretender, whose mind is thinking about that object. But the other person who has, restrained his eyes or tongue from the object of the sense, which is ice cream, but the mind is now thinking not about ice cream but the Lord, and then the rust, that taste of ice cream becomes inferior compared to the taste that you derive from meditating on Lord or service to Krishna. That taste has to be higher. Next verse. One who, sorry, yeah, Mataji. On the other hand, if a sincere person, beautiful verse it is, if a sincere person tries to control the active senses by the mind and begins karma yoga in Krishna consciousness without attachment, he is by far superior. The first line is significant. If a sincere person tries to control the senses by the mind, everything is technical. Huh? So, mind is the rein, sense is the horse, and you have to rein in. Therefore, this Krishna is using the word that you have to restrain the or control the active senses by the mind. You have to control. But how do you control? By you beginning the karma yoga, which means you do things without attachment. Now, on the other hand, if a sincere person tries, initially no one wins. Nobody wins. Pretender is rejected. One who is putting effort is being appreciated. So today, this is our second take home. The first take home was we have to understand the nature of God by reading Bhagavad Gita. And one such trait or characteristic that Krishna has is he does not appreciate inactive life. He does not appreciate when somebody does not follow the prescribed duty. So that was our take home. Okay, this is nature of God. Krishna doesn't like it. Here we get to know who Krishna likes. He doesn't like big performers. He's not talking about them. But he likes sincere tiny startups. He likes us. He feels very happy when we try to go against the tide. The stream is flowing in one direction, you are swimming opposite to that. That's called upstream. Very difficult. When someone tries, he may not make much progress, but Krishna says, very good, keep it up. That's the way to go. And don't worry, keep trying, you will win. Not the pretender. Not the pretender. So second lesson is we should belong to the category of those who try. So remember the hierarchy I gave you: bad, good, better, best. Krishna is now encouraging us to jump from bad to good. At least do out of 10 activities, perform 2. Better than not performing any. Even if there are faults, don't worry, keep trying. Krishna's whole effort is to raise our consciousness by purificatory methods. That's what he wants. And then ultimately he will say, give up, come. We have to get ready for that. So these are the early stages. So we are learning. So even in Karma Yoga, The second part I'm not even touching today. Without desire for profit, keep acting. That's a separate platform. That's a difficult one. I'm just saying act. In colloquial language, हम लोग कहते हैं कि पागल बच्चा या पागल बेटा पापा को चाचा बोले तो भी ठीक, कुछ तो रिलेशन निकाल रहा है। दूर ही रहता है, आता ही नहीं है, उससे अच्छा तो आता है। चाचा ही बोल रहा है पर पास में तो आ रहा है। Similarly, we may not be absolutely correct in all our activities related to bhakti, but we must not give them up. We must sincerely try. Remember, with each class, when the class gets over and you go to sleep, you should say, "Thank you, Krishna. Today I understood two more things about you. Today I understood you don't like people who don't work. And I also understood that even if we can't work perfectly, we should still work, or at least try to work better. And then we will be liked by you." Good. Now you are understanding the nature of divinity. Welcome to Bhagavad Gita. This is how God thinks. And now I know. And who does God like? Who thinks like God? So if I think like Krishna, I am become Krishna conscious. Purpose of life achieved. Now I'm always going to be there's no more death for me, no more old age, no more disease, no more birth. Why? Because I changed my way of thinking. Whether the world appreciates me or it does not appreciate me, I will still do my prescribed duty because Krishna likes it. Let's move to the next one. I'm not touching knowingly the second part because that's a part which is like completely detour, not a detour, but it's like a notch up, and I'm not sure we are ready for that right now. Perform your prescribed duty, for doing so is better than not working. One cannot even maintain one's physical body without work. I'm sure now you can see both the messages, the takeaway is getting mixed here in this verse. Both the messages he has just mixed up here nicely. He's being very clear. Perform your prescribed duty. For not doing so is, for doing so is better than not working. One cannot even maintain one's physical body without work. If you don't go to office, you can't get money. If you don't get money, you can't buy grain. You can't have house. That's it. Your physical maintenance will get endangered. Working is crucial. So if you have come to this world, work. Now, work for what reason, what cause is a different thing. We are not going there right now. But he's saying work is essential. Then the categories of work and all of those things, not touching. Krishna here is just pushing Arjun from via Arjun us to move from mode of ignorance, tamogun, to rajogun. Tamogun means not having sufficient desire to act. And by the way, prescribed duty word, don't mistake it only for going to office. That's not what I'm saying. From time to time, there will be something called dharma sankat, and you will have to select your prescribed duty and do that. And it may be unpleasant. Even then, you have to do that. For example, Mr. Modi, I'm putting all politics and everything else aside. When the Pahalgam attack happened, the prescribed duty was to ensure safety of the citizens of the nation. That's a priority. That's prescribed duty. If he does not do that, then he will fall down from his position. You are thinking prime ministership is his position. No. His position is of someone who has done his prescribed duty in the past. But now, as far as this bit is concerned, he has fallen from that position. At the same time, he can't afford Rajogun, can't get carried away, that he can put the whole nation into war. But at the same time, he has to act in such a way that some concrete lesson is taught. Prescribed duty. When you have done something which has not gone right, and you have to face someone for that. Suppose you are in an extramarital affair and your wife gets to know or the husband gets to know about it. How do you face him or her? You don't want to face, but you must face. Get ready for all those, you know, caustic remarks, so to say, which will be hurled upon you. Stand up, own it, face it, because Krishna likes it. I goofed up. I'm responsible. Many people, out of fear, that's also fallen stage. They put the blame on someone else. I didn't do it, he did it. And they embroil that person into that thing which he never did. Our courts are full of it. So prescribed duty doesn't just mean going to office, taking bath. Yes, of course, it's a part of it. But Dharma Sankat, when and wherever it pops up, look at Maharaj Dashrath. He pleaded before Kaikai, but he did not tell Kaikai, take your, the two boons back. I refuse to give. He didn't say that. Even once he didn't say that. Because that was his prescribed duty. He had given those boons. He was duty bound. The moment Ram left for the forest, and of course, he had announced that Bharat will be the king. Then, after doing his prescribed duty, he went out his anger. And he said, Kaikai, I give up. Not give up, I'm sorry, I desert you forever. Pehla talak tha wo, so to say. He did not ask her to leave the palace. He just deserted her. Finished. But till the time his prescribed duty was there, Maharaj Dashrath was in such a bad shape. But he was heroically fighting it out. He was trying to convince Kakai to ask something else. But that's it. He never said even once, I will not do it. So it is painful to do our prescribed duty from time to time. When our parents call us, when we have to attend to our, people who we had assured that we are with them, all of those things. Prescribed duty. If you have friendship, then you have duty of friendship. All right, I hope that all of this is making sense. Last verse for today. Mataji, scroll down, please. The emphasis is working is better than not working, and then trying to work is better than not working. But in case if you didn't understand that prescribed duty can be anything under the sun, not just occupation, duty of a father, you have to do it. Work done Oh, the topic is changing. I'll have to pause it here. The definition of yajna, that's the topic for next week. So, Mataji, you can remove the screen. I mean, as in remove the text from the screen. Next week, we will discuss what is ideal karma yoga by understanding what is yajna. All right. If there's any question, please ask. If someone wants to, okay, Aradhana Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, pranams.
Pranam.
Prabhuji, can there be a situation where the prescribed duties come in the way of devotional service?
Well, it most of the times it does, or at least it appears like it does. Second is a better answer. It appears in the sense that I'll elaborate a little. That, say, for example, your prescribed duty is to be in office, and there is a sannyasi who has come to deliver a class, and you know sitting in that class would make a lot of sense for you and it will be devotionally enriching. Now, in such a case, what do you do? So, your prescribed duty came in the way of your devotional growth. So, but when I use the word appears, what I mean is this is very, very, very subtle to understand. If one is very genuine in his commitment, then the Lord excuses many things and allows that person. This is via chapter 6, where if you have performed bhakti in your next life, you take birth either in a Brahminical family or in a rich family. Why? Because if you are in a rich family, then your whole time, which would have gone on a 9 to 5 job, and you're done. Don't mind, not just you, everyone else who is here on the call. Don't mind, but this life of 9 to 5, or these days 9 to 9 or 9 to 7, is a Shudra life. Just to fill the belly, they take our whole day. When do we work for our spiritual this thing? And it's not me who is saying it. Krishna says, I create opportunities for my devotees. Okay, take birth in a rich family so that you don't have to go through all of this. He also doesn't want. He prefers purification over, these occupational duties. So, if somebody has a genuine desire, then the Lord makes arrangement. That is the answer. I'll give you a quick example of this, and this is a real life one. There was once when some of you might have heard it. When I used to work for Times of India, and I had this boss called Sunit Johar, and it was March, and Navdeep Mandal Parikrama was to take place. I'm talking about 2010 or 11 March, I think. And I was sure that there is no question of me getting, a leave of 10 days for that matter, to come to Calcutta, perform 7 days of parikrama and go back. So I was in two minds. I said, if I go and I say, he will get mad at me. And, if I don't say, I will not like it. Ultimately, I mustered courage. I went there and I said, Sunit, we have this festival which comes once in a year, and 10,000 devotees from all over the world would come. And it's a great opportunity to get my spiritual growth. So I understand that it's March running, but can I ask you for a leave of 10 days? And I was expecting a reply like, are you crazy? How can even you say that? But he got up from his chair, and I was like, so I also got up. Then he embraced me and he said, I'm very happy for you. Please go. Things work. But had I not tried, I would have felt bad. So we take plunge, we attempt it. Then it's not granted, then we take that, okay, I'm not yet qualified for it. So I better focus on my work. Some more purification is needed. Some more reactions of bad karma is chasing me. So I would wait. So the succinct answer now to the question is, occupational duties it would appear that they are coming in the way of your devotional growth. But the point is that at this juncture, you only deserve this much. But you keep praying, and less obstacles would come, and more opportunities of devotional growth will occur. Everyone on the call, please, this is the last line for the class. The bottom line is, somehow we have been blessed with bhakti. Don't think we deserve bhakti. So, whatever you get, be very grateful. But whatever you don't get, don't be morose. Just knows that I have already got much more than what I deserve. So, I better be patient and continue. And in due course of time, the all merciful Lord will certainly grant this to me. That's how a devotee should live. Since we are 2 minutes over now from the time limit, so I would just close this session here. Next week, very nice topic, yajna, one of the fundamental things. Yes, Haribol. Badri Vishal Prabhu, you wanted to say something?
No, Prabhu, just nothing, Prabhu, nothing.
श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय, श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की जय, श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य महाप्रभु सहित पंच तत्व की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्रील गुरु महाराज की जय. All glories to all your devotees. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Pranams. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna to all of you.
Hare Krishna.